All right, hello everyone and welcome back to another Black Desert video. So today I wanted to talk about the best pets to get. Now, I wanted to also bring this up and upload this video simply because we have a few events that are going on and they are actually ending very soon. So if you haven't already gotten the Atoraxxion event, you could get one free pet from here. We're going to talk about that in a minute. But even if you don't do it, it's not really a big deal. It's really just a billion silver, and a lot of these you can get from other sources, but for all of you who wanted to do it, this is one way to get them. So with that said, we'll talk about that in a second and other ways to get more free pets. So first of all, let's talk about how to get free pets, and then we're going to talk about the different kinds and what I would recommend you guys have for whatever you do: PvEing, PvPing, life skilling. So first of all, if you are a new player, you have no idea what to do, here's what I'd recommend. Go down into your suggested tab, and there's probably a quest for a pet, and let me see if I could find it. It's probably down here somewhere. Oh yeah, it's over here. You do the quest line, and it's basically get all this stuff over here. So do that as a new player. Make sure to put an order on whatever pet. I guess if you're a new player or you're free to play, what I'd recommend doing is put it on whatever you think is nice and just keep an order at all times. Next, I want to talk about the Garmoth pet, the one that takes a bit of silver, but I think it is overall worth it. The Nouver pet. So the way you get this one is by doing the Nouver questline, and basically all that requires you to do is go to Garmoth, bloodspawn Garmoth a bunch of times, and then sink a lot of silver in it. Now, I think that this pet is still worth having because even though you're sinking a lot of silver into it, it's basically a guaranteed tier 4. So that means for anyone who doesn't spend any money, this is a huge one for all of you. So you keep going to bloodspawn Nouver, and then eventually it'll drop a bunch of wings and then the horn. You get both of these, and if you get duplicates, you get Bloodlet Eye of the Desert, and it requires a bunch of black stones and silver. So combined all of these, get all this, you turn it into an NPC in the Valencia area. I have an entire questline video, so you can watch that if you want to. It's very detailed, and I show you how to do everything step by step. So if you're interested, I'll drop a link in the description, but that's a way to get a free tier 4. The next way that we currently have is this one. Now, the event does end tomorrow, I believe. So if you haven't done it, but you plan on doing it, here is what I would recommend. So this one, for all of you who don't have it, it gives item drop rate. And the Atoraxxion one, which I actually had in for a while, item drop rate is over here at tier 5 is what I'd recommend. So you get tier 4 and then push it to tier 5 for the extra 1%. That's always nice. High priority for all of you who don't have it. Everyone else who doesn't need anything, what I would recommend for all of you, besides this one, is I would recommend the Latron one, simply for durability, reduction, resistance. And for all of you, what that means is, like, if you're an AFK fisher, your fishing rod doesn't go out as fast, as well as grinding and everything. So this is actually important. And although it does not, well, the fishing thing does stack, actually. So I have a fishing setup, and I'll show you that in a second. But like the polar bear fishing, what is it? Fishing reduction time does not stack, but fishing durability or item durability, it does stack. So yeah, aside from that, I would probably choose this one over durability or the weight limit one. So high priority on the Atoraxxion, item drop rate, followed by durability reduction or weight limit, because weight limit does stack with the polar bear, so not having to buy extra weight and everything is always nice to have. And then everything else is kind of irrelevant unless you're buying it just because you like it, or not buying it, just getting it. Combat XP, kind of irrelevant. Skill XP, absolutely irrelevant. And death penalty is -1 for PvE. Like, there's no penalty for PvP. So yeah, you don't need that one. So those are my recommendations for what you should get. And yeah, so I wanted to talk about the pet list I have. Now, I haven't actually bought any in a long time, ever since I got my tier 4s. I haven't really been the kind of person to super min-max them. I just kind of picked what, the important trait or skill line on the far right side over here. And those are more important to me than anything else. But if I got like the important ones that I like combat XP, that's always cool. So high priority pets that I would recommend people to get. One being the polar bear. These do not stack. Auto fishing, time reduction, you only need one of them. If you do stack them, you're doing it for the weight, but the fishing reduction does not. Next, the hedgehog. For all of you gatherers out there, this has a chance of like double procking. So like, if you're chopping trees or something, right? And then you get like the pop-up that gives you the loot. It's like, here, you got 4 logs. Now you can get a double proc of 4 logs and another 4 logs. That's how it works. So all you gatherers out there, hedgehog, high priority, and yeah, worth getting. Nouvermon, or the Nouverkint pet, is basically a tier 4 one when you get it. So you have to convert it in like the Crimson Dragon pet that you get from a lot of other stuff. Crimson Dragon pet, these things. There's other ways to get it if you can't get it from Garmoth. I believe it is this thingy. Actually, is it that one, or was it another? I think it might actually be another thing that gives it, but make sure to just check it, and should be able. There's something I know I saw it before, but either way, you combine those two, it's a guaranteed tier 4, and you're good to go. Next, I would say is an important choice, obviously, besides the thing we talked about. So you should be getting one for free. Item drop rate, always high priority. And here are some extra ones that I think are always nice to have. So we basically look at the trait on the far right, just because those are important. So knowledge is always a good thing for all of you who are ecology farming out there. That's pretty nice. Drop rate is always a high priority. Durability reduction. And for all of you training, mount XP is actually some reason it's really rare to have a pet that drops one. So, you should probably get one just because horse training is just a time-gated activity. And birds, the JoJo. This one, it doesn't really tell you this unless you read the tooltip, but as you guys know, bird pets fly further, so they can loot at a farther distance than like ground pets. However, they loot a little bit slower. But if you're grinding at places like Tungrad Ruins, where you know how the enemies kind of fly off a little bit, they kind of sort of fixed that a while ago. But it's like enemies that don't immediately drop loot, and if you know what I mean, you kill it and then the loot drops from something else like a second later, and or flies away. Usually bird pets are a great choice for that one. So anyway, with that said, after knowing like what kind of stats to look for, here's what I have. So this is my main one that I use for most things. It's mostly because I'm lazy, and these are the ones that had combat XP on it and gathering when I do everything. But the important ones, drop rate is always going to be high priority. If you have the extra 100% or 100 health, that's always nice. Weight is always nice for gathering. I do a little bit of everything, so there's that. Knowledge. As much knowledge and drop rate as you can. Now, I put the bird here just because it loots further and it was a little bit different. But this doesn't give knowledge as much. But this is what I have when there's a new grind spot and you're just looking for S ranks and everything, or just trying to ecology farm. That's what I'd recommend. This one, more for stacked life XP. And I don't think this one is still set up, actually. But we got fishing. So fishing is actually very important, and I think is relevant to a lot of you guys, simply because AFK fishing is just important these days, or just high value. So as we all know, item drop rate, kind of irrelevant when you're fishing. The only thing you should be going for, fishing XP, life XP, if there is one, like not on the far right, but life in general, and durability reduction. So as we all know, most people AFK fish overnight, whether that's like, I don't know, 8 to 15 hours or something. And so you want to be able to stack as much durability reduction as you can. And this is the one I chose from the Atoraxxion event. I chose this one simply because, you know, durability reduction, and I already had a polar bear that gave some nice stuff. So anyway, you could probably swap a lot of this out. You could swap a polar bear if you had another durability reduction, and these do stack, but fishing time does not. So it really just depends on what you do, and those are some choices. But with that said, let's look at the Pearl Shop. In case you guys were thinking about buying anything yourself, here's what I'd recommend. Arctic Fox. In case the event is gone and you don't know how to get item drop rate, Arctic Fox is the way to go. Every now and then they sell the JoJo bird, like, you know, the Angry Birds, you know, one. I don't think this is not it, but this one has special ones where it's like big ship inventory weight that's for sailing. That one's kind of nice, actually. I don't care about that one, but that's one that's nice to get as well. And I guess if you're a new player, what you should get is more pets, like 5 tier 1s over 1 tier 5. That'll just overall loot is better. And like whichever one you can get, if you're free to play, you just get those. But if you're min-maxing, what I'd recommend, Hedgehog, Polar Bear, Nouver pet, because that one's free. If you got the event pets, they kind of give them pretty regularly, and one that has a drop rate bonus as well. So yeah, those are my opinions on pets and everything. So if you have any questions, basically, let's look at the stat over here on the far right. That's the one that matters. And the ones on the left are just, you get 1 new skill per tier. That's how it works. I wouldn't really bother min-maxing it unless you spend a lot of money. I just kind of just pick the ones that give you the important talents. That's about it. So anyway, that's it for me today. Thanks so much for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed it. And if you're new to the channel, hit that subscribe button. I'd love to see you guys come back, and I'll see you tomorrow. Peace.